Greyhound View this week, we bring you the semi-final of the Ladbrokes 600 plus the Champion Stakes final from Lifford in County Donegal. And we take a trip to Kerry for a visit to last week's hero, Fortune Mike. But first, we head to Cork. Carraheen Park in Cork is buzzing these days, courtesy of the Co-op Superstore's Irish Laurels, one of Ireland's premier classics. We join Mal Keaveney for the highlights.
Dogs are in traps now for heat 1 of this second round. Number 2 is an absentee, that's Clover here. In 1, Scrum Down. 3, Cavalier Kid. Ihavui is 4, Borna Dasher is 5, and the strong favourite, number 6, Anamore Billy. All eyes here on box 6 and Anamore Billy, the warm favourite, and he breaks very, very well indeed. And will lead early on into the opening bend from Cavalier Kid, and Scrum Down is third on the rails. Borna Dasher's running wide. It has made great ground now and moves into second, but it's Anamore Billy, the odds-on favourite. That's going through by 3 or 4 lengths from Borna Dasher. There's a battle on for third. Cavalier Kid holds on to third as of now, but as they swing the final turn, we're going to have a very popular winner here. It's Anamore Billy, followed home by Borna Dasher and Cavalier Kid.
Last week's record breaker, Larkhill River, trained by Seamus Graham, running from trap 1 in the second heat, got into trouble at the third bend, which knocked him out of the Laurels for this year.
It's difficult to oppose Larkhill River as the hare comes towards traps. Watch for box 1, he's out well. Larkhill River, or is he? It's Burberry Boy that's out best, and Black Forever is second. Society Princess, the only bitch, is in third at the moment. On they go, and it's Burberry Boy in front. Larkhill River beginning to close. The track record holder here at Carraheen Park is closing all the time into the open corner, and it's Burberry Boy and Larkhill River. A spot of bother. Terror Johnny comes through, and Larkhill River has it all to do and will not qualify. Burberry Boy, Man of La Mancha, and Society Princess. On now to heat number 4. In 1, Harlena's Tom. Coombe Lagain Mel is in 2. Mustang Buster runs in 3. Glencoe Gift is 4. Confident Choice is 5. And Carlo Gamble is in 6. Here now up behind the traps, and they're away in heat 4 and out very smartly. In the centre is Mustang Buster. Glencoe Gift is second at this stage. Confident Choice is well there, and Carlo Gamble runs into all sorts of problems and is the back marker, but we have a clear leader. Mustang Buster is way in front. Harlena's Tom is now second. Up front, it's Mustang Buster, who has led from the opening of the traps, and as they swing the final turn, it's Mustang Buster that's going to win. Confident Choice and Harlena's Tom close for second between that pair. All in readiness so for heat 7. In 1, Kestrel Last. 2, Quiet Castle. 3, he's Mr. Kite. Wish Kid is 4. Samuri Jack is 5. And in 6, it's Vinderloo. Here swings the final corner and comes towards traps, and they're away. Samuri Jack is the favourite, out well from Wish Kid, running wide. It's Vinderloo in the stripes, and at the opening bend, it's the favourite Samuri Jack going on. It's Vinderloo moves into second. Kestrel Last holds on to third, just ahead of Wish Kid. Up front, it's Samuri Jack, a winner last time out as well. Into the third bend, has a lead here of 3 lengths or so from Kestrel Last. And off the final turn, Samuri Jack being pressed by Kestrel Last, but as the line comes, Samuri Jack wins. Kestrel Last is second. Wish Kid takes third.
The bottom 2 corners, Fortune Premier leads from Fortune Mike. Here comes Odette around the final corner. Fortune Mike now coming up to challenge Fortune Premier. Here comes Odette up to the line. Fortune Mike, Odette on the line. Fortune Mike, I think, gets there.
Last week at Harold's Cross, the 2002 BCR Press Puppy Derby winner Fortune Mike had a huge Kerry support group cheering him home. We went to Knocknagoshel in County Kerry and asked trainer Michael Keane what he thought of Fortune Mike's performance.
Fantastic. For everybody's sake, particularly the kids. I think that they got a kick out of it they're certainly never going to forget. And of course then you had to add Mary, who's the owner, and Mike Walsh got a kick out of him. He took along his uncle with him. They were joined by a couple of fellows from Tralee, Ed Sullivan and Tom Murphy from Brosnan. I think they all got fantastic value for they backed him, of course, so that made all the difference. And the trio was very good on the night, and they all caught it, so they all came home, I won't say drunk, but they came home rich.
From an early stage, the Keens could see Fortune Mike had great potential, and they were very fortunate in the way they acquired him.
What happened was that I was friendly with the Welches all my life, and Mike had Don's Pride, and he gave me a present of the pup. If you ask me what were the rest of them sold for, I tell you they were on sale. They weren't going to be sold, and he cost absolutely nothing.
Fortune Mike joined the Keene family as a young pup and has the convenience of the rural countryside of Knocknagoshel to run free.
They're there every day from once they're, I'd say 5 months old, 4 or 5 months old, because apart, I don't know whether it's good for the dogs or not, but it certainly does me the world of good. I love to go back there, I relax there, and it's grand and fine, and they belt around the bog there, and we have a Springer Spaniel. He's left loose, and there are a few grouse and things like that there, and he'd be travelling around and the dogs would follow him. He helps to control the dogs as well, and so far as that he's very submissive, and so if you whistle for him, he comes to you, whereas greyhounds mightn't, and he come back and they think there's something and he'll follow them back, and he's very handy that way.
After some very successful trials, Michael decided on Fortune Mike's first big race, which was the Lee Strand at the Kingdom Stadium in Tralee. Despite the fact that Michael didn't think Fortune Mike was in top form, he went on to win the final in great style.
But off the final turn, it's Anamore Billy now being challenged by Fortune Mike, and Fortune Mike gets up to win it at the line from Anamore.
Subsequently, Fortune Mike sustained a toe injury and underwent surgery. After his recovery period, he was trialled again, and Michael was well pleased with his performance. He then trialled him in Harold's Cross with the Puppy Derby in mind, and was pleasantly surprised by his time.
But when I looked at the clock and when I saw 28:69, I honestly didn't know what to think, because I have a very suspicious mind. I said, Jesus, did he do that kind of clock? Because I thought he wasn't running well now. And anyway, that worked out, and we arrived back for the first night, and the first man I met was this big security fella. And I'll tell you the truth, he made Harold's Cross for me. We had real good fun. Every night we went in, we'd have a banter about something or other, and went in, met Shelley inside and Eamon, and thought that the atmosphere was fantastic. I thought the night of the final, I walked on the track, and we're hearing so much about sand surfaces now that every one of us don't know whether it's right or whether it's wrong. I went out onto the track that night, and I tried to test it as I was told by Pat Dalton, and I found it absolutely impeccable. He came out of traps well enough, and I always felt kind of confident, but between the third and fourth bend, he seemed to take a wrong option. If he had run on the outside and decided to stay there, I think he'd have come into the home straight in front. Instead of that, he dithered a little bit, and it cost him, I'd say, a length. Coming down to the line then, my eyes were glued on 6 and 2, and I never saw the tree lady coming. It was on the line, actually, when I realised that she was the danger to him. The position I was in then, I hadn't an idea in the world whether he had won or whether he had been second or whether he had been third. I had to wait for the public address system, which was very fast, by the way, and God knows it was welcome.
As things get back to normal after his big win, Michael is looking forward to Fortune Mike's next challenge, which is the Golden Muzzle Puppy Stake at the Limerick track.
I tell you now, I suppose you often heard of a child looking forward to Santee. Well, I'm looking forward to Limerick now with the same enthusiasm as that, because I really and truly deep down believe it's his track. Now, Michael Fortune, who was a real good judge of a greyhound and fancied him the whole way through, maybe more so than I did, they're all talking about Shelburne, but I'll be disappointed, man, if this dog doesn't run well in Limerick. And I sincerely hope it does. Won't I be a right fool if he doesn't, though?
The Champion Stakes final was held at Lifford in County Donegal at the weekend, with prize money of €10,000 to the winner. The stadium itself is still under development, but the track is in great working order. Both young and old turned out, and some took their betting very seriously. We join Michael Fortune for the lineup.
In 1, Brewer's Turn, owned by Larry Kinsella, a son of Spiral Nikita and Bray Breeze, very well drawn. In 2 is Farlow Hack, owned by Pat McCloskey from Derry, a son of Stapler's Joe and Farlow Dingle, one of the outsiders of the field. Number 3, the favourite, Farlow Bond, owned by John McRoberts, trained by Willie Small, a son of Top Honcho and Fee's Chance. This one has won 8 of his 11 races. He's the favourite. Number 4, Glencloy Swift, owned by Brian Macklin from Antrim, a daughter of trade official and level bet, 5-1 in the betting. In 5 is Kubua, owned by the Wasn't Me Syndicate from Hannistown, trained by Seamus McGarry, a son of Stapler's Joe and Lemon Mustang, at 8-1. Number 6, Maytown Hawk, owned by Stephen Boyle from Newry, trained by Fraser Black, a son of Polnoon Chief and Carnagrim Hawk, at 6-1. The bell rings and the hare starts its journey for this final of the Lifford Champion Stakes. In trap 1, Brewer's Turn, 2, Farlow Hack, 3, the favourite Farlow Bond, 4, Glencloy Swift, 5, Kubua, and on the outside in 6, Maytown Hawk. Hare behind traps. And quite a level start. Number 3, the favourite, dives for the inside, Farlow Bond. Brewer's Turn not well away, and it's number 3, the favourite, Farlow Bond, leads on the bend from number 4, Glencloy Swift in second. These have moved on by a few lengths from number 2, Farlow Hack in third. But down the back, it's number 3, Farlow Bond, still in front by a length from 4, Glencloy Swift in second. And Glencloy comes up to challenge and shows a fraction ahead probably at the moment. But number 3, Farlow Bond, battling back, owned by John McRoberts. Coming off the final bend, Farlow Bond now beginning to go on again from Glencloy Swift. Coming to the line, and the favourite's done it. It's Farlow Bond winning it from Glencloy Swift. A thrilling contest there throughout, the time 28.67. And the result of the Lifford Champion Stakes, the winner number 3, Farlow Bond, owned by John McRoberts, second number 4, Glencloy Swift, and third number 2, Farlow Hack, time 28.67.
I bought the Greyhound from Des Lochray. He's the man I buy all my good dogs from. He's the Farlow man, they call him. He's been running loads of very good dogs for a long time. I had Farlow Melody from one English Derby as well. We've had a lot of very good dogs from Des. He's a lovely young pup. He's a great dog for next year. We'll have to go hopefully to Shelburne with him, try and impress the folk down there. We went to Dublin one time with him and we're very unlucky, but we'll be back.
We're very lucky. It's a very lucky dog for us as well, and that's important. You know, you need luck in the game as well.
Lifford are doing a wonderful job. The Duffys have to be congratulated on what they've done on this track, and whenever we get this massive stand erected, it'll be full every night.
We started racing here on the new track in April. Initially we bought the track away last year in the year 2000. We bought it from the McGee family. The McGee family always had a high tradition here that Lifford was probably regarded in Ireland as one of the best maintained, looked after tracks. It's up to us now to do the same thing here in this new track, and at the present moment in time we're actually doing it very successfully. Lifford has been a great gambling track over the years since it actually opened. At the present, we turned over €126,000 last Sunday at our track. Now, if you want to equate that, about 60% that could be turned as bet in sterling. So if you turn the sterling into euros, you could be talking at 160, 170 on the facilities that we have at the moment. What the figures we will do when the new stadium's up is anyone's guess. We could be talking maybe 200,000.
Join us in part 2 for the semi-finals of the Ladbrokes 600.
The 600-yard trip at Shelburne Park is widely recognised as a true test of the racing greyhound, with an abundance of speed and stamina needed. Tonight, 10 of Ireland's best battle it out in the semi-finals of the Ladbrokes 600. The opening semi-final has cut up somewhat with the forced withdrawals through injury of Ashcarn Blackie and Moving Customer, though we are left with a very intriguing heat. In the second semi-final, Borna Pilot and Tall Chubby lock horns for the second week running. Meanwhile, let's take a look at the runners for the opening heat.
Number 1, Heavenly Hero, owned by Tony Head, trained by Johnny Donoghue, a son of Always Good and Mam's Choice, third in the Derby final. Big run in the first round here, a bit disappointing in the second round, but the obvious favourite. Number 2, Duffy's Hurricane, owned by John Duffy, trained by Ronnie McKeown, a son of Spiral Nikita and Duffy's Kestrel. Duffy's Hurricane, not blessed with early pace, but really moves from the third bend home. Will be storming through at the finish. Trap 3, Ashcarn Blackie and non-runner, stress fracture problem. And number 4 here is Neil's Fiddler, owned by Ben Curtin, a son of Vintage Prince and Adrienne's Beauty. Very good early pace, a likely leader, but a little bit limited on stamina and very much one of the outsiders in the race. Trap 5, Moving Customer, also a non-runner, a toe problem. And in 6 we have Top of the Best, owned by Sandra Raleigh, trained by Fraser Black, son of Top Honcho and Penny's Model, runner-up in the Euro off-track 600 earlier in the year, and really coming into form the last few rounds here, and a very impressive winner last time, ideally drawn here in 6. The Hare on its way for this opening semi-final. In 1, Heavenly Hero. 2, Duffy's Hurricane. Trap 3 is vacant. 4, Neil's Fiddler. Trap 5 vacant. And in 6 we have Top of the Best. Hare coming up behind the traps. Number 1, Heavenly Hero, the favourite. He's not too well away. It's number 4 showing up. That's Neil's Fiddler. Normally shows the early pace. Top of the Best in 2nd place, and number 1, Heavenly Hero, in 3rd, going up his inside. Around the first bend, and number 4, Neil's Fiddler, showing in front. There goes Top of the Best on the outside. Heavenly Hero on the inside, and Top of the Best takes over down the back strip, but Heavenly Hero battles back. It's neck and neck heading into the 3rd bend. Top of the Best going on by a length, and his Heavenly Hero checks at the point. And now Top of the Best storms on, going on by 2 lengths around the final bend. Top of the Best in front. Heavenly Hero coming back on the inside, but Top of the Best is all the power. He's drawing away now, and Top of the Best wins it from number 1, Heavenly Hero in 2nd, and number 2, Duffy's Hurricane in 3rd. The time 33:01. The result of the first semi-final: the winner number 6, Top of the Best, owned by Sandra Raleigh. 2nd, number 1, Heavenly Hero, and 3rd, number 2, Duffy's Hurricane. The time 33:01. Now the runners on parade for the second semi-final of the Ladbrokes 600, the 9th race on the card here at Shelbourne tonight. All 6 run. Here we nominate number 5, Tall Chubby, to win from 1, Born a Pilot, and number 6, Crossley Lark. This should be a magnificent contest, so little between them. Number 1, Born a Pilot, owned by Rory Dwan, the son of Top Honcho and Born a Best. Really pacey performer, not the fastest starter in the world, but this fellow will really be motoring from halfway. In 2 we have Santon Chateau, owned by Mary Walsh, trained by Liam Ramsbottom, son of Vintage Prince and Gary Glasdarkey, a dog who moves fast to the corner, perhaps one of the outsiders in the race, but he's one who could play quite a part in the destination of the honours here. Number 3, Diego Glory, owned by Jaron Martin Richardson, trained by Tommy Fagan, son of Spire Nikita and Chica Chuita. Highly consistent performer, would be far better off drawn on the outside trap, but you can't discard this fellow. Number 4 here is Governor, owned by Mary Heffernan, trained by Paul Hennessy, a son of Beaming Supreme and Racket Star, the veteran of the field, but really running out of his skin at the moment. Unbeaten in the stakes so far, but faces a very difficult task this time. Number 5 is Tall Chubby, owned by John Guttridge, trained by Francis O'Donnell, the son of Lassa Java and Mount Taylor Madam. This fellow has really found his feet over the 600 yards. He loves the long run up, and when he's in front, he's hard to peg back. And number 6, Crossley Lark, owned by Madeline O'Brien, a daughter of Larkhill Joan Crossley Spark, finalist in the Oaks, a really consistent greyhound, ideally drawn in 6, and very hard to see her not qualifying for the final. The bell goes. The second semi-final: in 1, Born a Pilot, 2, Santon Chateau, 3, Diego Glory, 4, Governor, 5, Tall Chubby, and 6 is Crossley Lark. The Hare now coming up behind the traps. The favourite's number 1. And he's not well away as usual. It's number 3, Diego Glory, well out. And now Tall Chubby with that brilliant early pace, sizzling into the corner, but Born a Pilot goes into 2nd. There's a race on here. It's number 5, Tall Chubby, in front by 2.5 lengths from number 1, Born a Pilot, in 2nd. Number 4, Governor, is 3rd, and there goes Crossley Lark challenging for 3rd. Heading to the 3rd bend, there's still 2 lengths in it. It's Tall Chubby in front, but Born a Pilot is on the premises. It's Tall Chubby in front, 2.5 lengths. Born a Pilot checks slightly there, up the straight, and Tall Chubby's in front, being challenged by Born a Pilot, but Tall Chubby is going to win this one. It's Tall Chubby, wins by a length from number 1, Born a Pilot, in 2nd, with number 6, Crossley Lark, in 3rd. A time of 32:94. The result of the second semi-final: the winner number 5, Tall Chubby, owned by John Guttridge, 2nd, number 1, Born a Pilot, and 3rd, number 6, Crossley Lark. The time 32:94. The draw for the final has resulted as follows: in trap 1, Heavenly Hero; 2, Duffy's Hurricane; 3, Born a Pilot; in 4, Crossley Lark; 5, Top of the Best; and 6, Tall Chubby. What a race, but Tall Chubby looks very well housed.
It's nice to have the favourite, if he is favourite, but he's running well. He's a young dog and he's running well. We always thought a lot of him, and he's just proving it now.
Happy with the draw, with the 2 dogs drawn together on the outside 5 and 6, and I'd fancy his chances to go up after the inside, you know.
Top 2's probably what we could have wanted for him. Maybe tuck in behind Heavenly Hero, go for a wee bit of trouble at the first corner, maybe, you know. and we're staying on. So if we're anywhere near them, go down the back straight. Better luck.
Well, we prefer trap 6, but I think top of the best on our outside will be away without any harm to her, so I don't mind.
He ran brilliant tonight. He showed a gutsy pace, a lot of stuff tonight, and he prefers trap 5, firm run from 5, so I hope he does his best now next week.
Well, we've just seen the semi-finals of the Ladbrokes 600, and with Richard Harkness of the sponsors Ladbrokes, he's going to give us a run through the runners. Firstly, the opening semi-final, top of the best, very impressive, beating Heavenly Hero. What were your thoughts?
Indeed, I thought they matched strides down the back straight, and thought the favourite Heavenly Hero was going to come through and win going into the third corner, but top of the best came across and drew away and actually stayed on strongly to record a good success.
Duffy's Hurricane in third, of course.
Yeah, very strong, and again might be suited by a step up in trip really.
Onto the final, top of the best, wearing the orange jacket of 5. How do you rate his chances?
Has a decent chance, just that he's got tall, chubby drawn on his outside, and that might be his problem.
And what way would you price it, Rio?
I've put top of the best in at 11-4, also the top dog at 11-4, and Duffy's Hurricane in at 50.
50-1, really needs a bit of luck to win.
I think he does, yeah.
Onto the second semi-final, and Tall Chubby really put it up to him this evening with fine front-running performance.
Yeah, indeed, came away in good style and showed good early, went round in front, and thank you very much, that'll do for me. Very good performance.
When Borna Pilot went round so close, we were expecting him to unleash this turbo-powered backstraight pace, but not tonight.
I think he showed something along those lines last week. He showed good pace to get inside Heavenly Hero last week, behind Tall Chubby, and he never quite got to him last week, so I wasn't certain he would get to him again tonight.
And in third, Crossley Lark, she took a bit of a bump earlier on and ran on well.
She does, you know, she loves it here, and she won the Oaks here, and you know, she deserves her place in the final, and hard to rule her out really, although she's a big price in the final.
And how would you rate their chances? Tall Chubby in 6, firstly.
Tall Chubby, I've put him in at favourite, 9-4 favourite, purely on the draw. He's drawn in trap 6, and he could easily lead.
Borna Pilot has plenty of supporters around Shelburne Park.
I'm sure he would, yes.
He's wearing the white jacket, however.
In trap 3, yep. Drawn in the outside of the railers, but again, that might suit him. Impossible to rule out, 11-4, very wide open final.
And Crossley Lark, the remaining runner, she's in 4 in the final.
She is, and she sort of fit the gap really, and we were 14-1. I'd say it looks a fair price for an Oaks winner, but it's a cracking race.
Well, there you have it. We have a cracking final in store. Tall Chubby, wearing the striped jacket of 6, is the favourite at 9-4 with the sponsors, but it really is anybody's race.
Next week, we keep a close eye on the Irish Laurels in Cork, the Munster Oaks final in Waterford, while Harold's Cross hosts the final of the BagotRacing.com Irish Grand National, and of course the Ladbrokes 600 reaches its climax. For further information on Irish Greyhound racing ownership and syndication, visit our website at www.igb.ie or email us at admin@igb.ie.